This video is to cover the workflow for animated storyboards using NanoBananaPro, NanoBanana 2, to create storyboard grids from which you can later animate portions. Okay, so first of all, I use NanoBananaPro text to image. I'm using generate a cinematic photorealistic sequence for my story. All frames are 16:9 aspect ratio, after which you can just add your long story prompt. Make sure you select 16:9 aspect ratio in whatever program you're using. I'm using FAL in this case. And if you want a 4-image grid, you can just shorten your prompts. Okay, now to this other part of NanoBananaPro is the image edit. In this case, I wanted to change the bike to make it a hover bike. I also prompted a change in color and made the bike more weathered, and it worked out pretty good. Previously, for character consistency, I would use a character sheet, but I wanted to experiment using the grid image as a reference and see whether it would work. Especially since it has those reference images of the girl, the bike, man, the caravan, etc. I then rendered the image in 4K and then just manually cropped the smaller image, which I would later use as a base image. And at the same time use the original grid as a reference so that I could make tweaks. That's what I've done here, changing the girl's facial expression, adding the canister, and removing the wheel. I tested some text prompts to change various styles. I find that using percentages kind of worked. So you can achieve an interesting mixture of styles, and then I just animated in 2.2 locally. I also tried prompting a single image from the grid by referring to the 4th image and also change the style at the same time, which worked quite well. I then prompted some style changes using text and that percentage method I mentioned earlier. Now moving on, I also did some experiments with the style transfer with image to image, and I found out that you really need to extend the input image to apply to the target image. This kind of worked, but it added unwanted details from the style image. A different prompt resulted in a better final image, but unfortunately it didn't carry over to the other images, and you can see unwanted details coming over from the original style image. On the balance of it, at the end of the day, I prefer using the text-to-image method of applying a style, using those percentages I mentioned earlier. And I just animated these as well, using 2.2. At the same time, I was also experimenting with camera angles, so I found I could use the grid prompt and camera angle pretty well, which could be a easy and quick way to get different viewpoints on any given scene. And finally, a bit of a bonus, I experimented doing lip-sync with stylized images, and here are the results.
You don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what you're dealing with.